Oh man, what an introduction, right? Now you guys are expecting something pretty awesome. Well, cool. So yeah, right here, this is Chris Libby.
Hi.
Yeah.
This is Anthony Veneziale.
And we're huge. And we are super excited to be here. We do comedy improv, and we use music in our comedy improv. So this is sort of our little, hey, we're this guys, and about us. So Chris and I have known each other for about 20 years now. We started doing improv in college. Chris went to Emerson, I went to Wesleyan University, and his troupe would sometimes do shows with my troupe. And when he started doing shows, and I got to sort of watch his troupe, I would be like, that's the guy I want to play with. I can't wait to play with that guy. And I'm sure there's people in your life where you're like, yeah, I want to do that thing with that person. So I finally got to do that, and we started this show about 2 years ago. And basically, we need your help to do our show. As was said, this is improvisation. So improvisation starts by getting some suggestions from you, the audience. So why don't we do this? We've been sort of sitting in stasis for a little while.
Haven't we, though?
Let's just stand up real quick, get a little bit of blood flowing to our brains. Yeah, whew, nice one. And why doesn't everyone just shout out how they got here? How did you get here today? How did you arrive? Car. Most people car. Helicopter. Woo! Helicopter wins. So great. And let's keep going further. What's your middle name? Just shout out your middle name.
Michael.
Michael, Mark. Kathleen. What is it? Stuart wins. Well done, Adam. Great. Kathleen's wonderful, too. So excellent. So now let's go a little bit further. Are there any television shows that you're out there sort of like, oh, I just watched this entire season in one day. I have to watch it again. Game of Thrones. What else? Friends, Big Bang Theory. Star Trek. Awesome. Yes, there's applause for Star Trek. Fantastic. We love all the iterations. And let's also now talk about some books. What are some books that we love? What are some, do people still read, hopefully? And if they do, what's like your favorite book? Or what are you reading right now? 359. A Path Appears. What was that?
Alchemist.
The Alchemist. Nice. Tibetan peach pie. That's amazing. I have to read that. So great. So let's just talk about The Alchemist for a second. Maybe some other people have read it. What are some themes from The Alchemist? Sheep. Nice.
Funnily enough.
How's that? What is it?
Following the signs.
Following the signs. That's great. And now let's go back to Star Trek. What are some themes from Star Trek other than maybe following the signs? What are some themes? Loyalty. Loyalty. Red shirts die. Great, so I think we have the title of the song. We can all sit down. The title of this song will be Follow the Signs. Red shirts die. Thanks for that, by the way. Great.
Dangerous.
It's the TED color. So great. So this song's called Follow the Signs, Red Shirts Die. You ready?
I am.
Great. What does it sound like?
It's a great question, Anth. I think it's got a capo on the second fret.
A red shirt would totally say that.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Follow the signs.
That's a C. That's a nice one.
And my old friend.
The G is our old friend. Great.
And I don't know.
A minor.
A minor.
Sure. Great.
Let's call that a deal.
Let's call it a deal. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Go ahead and count us in.
A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. On the transponder teleporter caught in the middle of a satellite rain cloud and looking for the right way to materialize. I can't open my eyes and recognize what's happening, what's going on. I'm looking all around, I'm seeing all the Klingons and Klingons and people with the gills on their neck. What the heck? Why can't I just understand that the danger is all around us, man? Yeah, we lost cabin pressure, now the gravity's de-accelerating and the spin is not centrifugating. Okay, So now I am caught in a locked space system. I'm feeling like I missed them, but that's alright, cause I got my shirt tight. That's right, what's the color? Not black and not white. I'm a red shirt wearing, staring at the spaceship. Yeah, at the spaceship. I'm a red shirt wearing, staring at the spaceship. Yeah, I'm a red shirt, staring at the spaceship. So now I'm sitting there in my inner space suit, looking at the chute I got sent out, and yes, I am feeling far from breathful. I'm breathless like a dog. Oh my gosh, it's getting hard, cause no one can hear you scream when you're in space. I learned that from Ripley Scott, and yes, I'm about to be shot 1,000 miles hours out of this airlock. And oh my gosh, I am feeling like I'm seriously okay. The people out there are starting to say he wasn't innocent. Yes, he wasn't the main man, he was the young one. It's okay, expendable, but I am still wearing this goddamn red shirt, and I'm a red shirt, looking at, staring at that spaceship. Oh goddamn, alright, I'm just a red shirt wearing, still stop staring at that spaceship, spaceship. I'm a red shirt wearing, stop staring at the clock. Get hurt, look out, cause I'm red shirt's gonna take your spot one day. Flashes of mediocrity. As you can tell, that was in the moment. It just happened right now. I didn't ask you to say Star Trek, sir. No, great. And I didn't ask you to shout out themes from The Alchemist or whatnot. So lovely. So this brings us to this concept of like, whoa, where did that come from? How did it happen? So we can look back a little bit as well before we look forward at this amazing performer, heralded by most as the greatest pianist ever of all time. And that's this gentleman named Liszt. He was not only a player, he was also a composer. Just a badass guy. I mean, this is maybe one of the most inspiring, amazing people in the world. And he used to do concerts, and he would say to the audience when he got there, hey, what are you listening to? But he would do it in German, so it would be more like, and when he did that, they would shout out, oh, I'm listening to this thing, or again, either be in Austrian or Russian. He later went on to marry a Russian princess. But they would shout things out, and he would be like, oh, great. And he would take the first phrasings of it and then just create an entirely new concert in the moment. And when he did this, people swooned. People were in ecstasy. The way that people describe these concerts were like, imagine Michael Jackson meets Madonna meets that awesome guy right there. And that's what a concert of his was like. People were passing out. And then, of course, that brings us to another badass, Dr. Charles Limb. Some of you may have seen his TED Talk. He put freestyle rappers and jazz musicians inside of an MRI machine. And so when he did that, he was like, well, where does this come from? How is it working? And that, of course, brings us to me, Veneziale, neighbor of Tam's. So I'm right there on the bottom. That's me. And like Ward, I'm the youngest of 4, but it's 4 boys. So there was a lot of beatdowns that happened in my house. And not only beatdowns, but also there was exclusion, right? So when you have that many people, and I'm the youngest by far, some might say an accident, I say just an opportunity. So what happened was I would always be the one like, come on, let's play. Let's do this playing thing, right? Let's be playful. And my brothers would be like, oh, great, yeah, sure, we'll play. Set up the Monopoly board. I would set up the Monopoly board. 10 minutes would go by, and they wouldn't be there. And then a half hour would go by, and they definitely weren't playing. I was like, oh, they did it again. right? So then we kind of create this world where we're like, well, I want to play. I still want to play so badly. So how do I find those people, and where does it come from? And that brings us back to limb, right? So there's this concept inside of our minds and our brains. We have these great, really receptive areas. This is the medial prefrontal cortex, is like the flow. That's where this sort of other voice, a voice from above, maybe some people call it, comes through from. So how do we access that? Well, music, and improv music, is a surefire shortcut to that wonderful area of our brain. It also mutes, when you do this kind of work, it mutes the other part of your brain, the dorsal frontal cortex. It says, you can't do this stuff. It's scary. You're going to get hurt. Don't fall in love. Put walls up. Right, Ward? So what happens is, he publishes this lesson around this thing, and then the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, because there are many of them, they put out this headline, and I love it so much. It gets to the heart of what this thing that we were doing is. They play. Look at this headline. In jazz improv, large portion of brain's prefrontal region takes 5 to let creativity flow. I don't know how many jazz enthusiasts are out there, but the NIH just made a jazz pun. I mean, that shit is awesome. They just went out on the line and they just said, oh, you know what? Totally takes, oh yeah, Dave Brubeck's, maybe the biggest jazz song of all time, that's take 5. Let's put that in our pun-riddled headline here. And I love pointing this out because it gets to this concept of playing, right? We should remain playful. And what does that do for us? What are those things that it's the beneficiaries of it? Well, there's this concept called neuroplasticity that for a long time we thought was kind of had stasis around it. Neuroplasticity only lasts for as long as maybe your first 10 to 12 years. And then your brain is formed, and that's it. You're done. Thanks for playing. You're a 12-year-old. You've got to grow up, right? But no, actually, neuroplasticity falls right in line to this role-playing stuff, to the things about being a big second grader. The more you continue to play, the more you continue to try new stuff and break patterns, the more that you're going to have neuroplasticity in your life, and it's this wonderful beneficiary to just sort of sidestep Alzheimer's. It's got so many different side benefits as well when you learn a new thing. And so what is that? How do I learn a new thing? Do improv. Improvisation is a surefire way for you to break pattern. And if you think to yourself, I don't need to break pattern, here's a test. Go home today, get your trash can, the main trash can that's in your house, and move it. Just move it somewhere else in the house, anywhere. It can even be 10 feet over. And see how many times you go back to that spot that was in your kitchen to throw away your trash. It's going to be a lot. And maybe don't tell anybody else in the house and see what happens when they try to throw shit away, and then how many times it gets moved back to that spot. So that's not where that goes. That's called a preferred pathway inside of your brain. So when you start crystallizing these preferred pathways, they start forming really strong neural receptors and transmitters, and they start to crystallize in your brain over time. And so all of a sudden, you're making these decisions without even knowing. You've built these walls that have been a part of your life for so long that you're not even aware of them. So when we break pattern, when we play, we start looking at our brain in a different way. And so, as you can see, this guy, he was prodigious into his late 70s. I mean, he was a teacher, he was a grand pianist, and he was a composer as well. And he did some of his best work in the late stage of his life because he just kept breaking pattern. So that brings us to sort of the last part of our talk, which is, you know what? We still need some suggestions. And while this is a TED Talk, and it feels like it's got a lot of stuff set in place, but the beginning part was improv, well, where did the improv go? Well, luckily enough, Chris and I are part of this thing called Speechless, where we have people do improvised PowerPoint presentations. And I practiced this talk with Chris the other day, and I did the improv part of the PowerPoint presentation. And what I didn't tell Chris today is that he's actually going to be doing the rest of the talk with the PowerPoint presentation, and he has no idea what slides are in here because I changed them last night at midnight. So these slides are about to appear he has never seen before, and he has no idea that he's about to play this game. He had no idea. The only thing I said to him this morning was, be prepared for anything. He was like, what does that even mean? Because I say stuff like that all the time. But guess what? I found a brother to play with. And this is who I get to do that with. He's just one of the people who I consider a brother in that way. I'm lucky in that I'm able to reach out to a lot of people and do shows and performances because I'm a performer. But this, up here right now with me, my brother is about to play. And I'm about to set up a game for him, which I just did. So we need a suggestion from you. What's the salient point that he's going to leave us, the audience, with? What is the sort of summation of the entire talk that he ends, and it could literally be anything. It could be monkeys actually were the predecessor of birds. Yeah, what is it? Giving back. Giving back. So great. So let's make it a statement. So giving back is overrated. Awesome. Nice. Play breaks patterns, and that's kind of in tune to what we've just been saying. Giving back is overrated. I think we found it, and the audience sort of, you guys ratified it. So great. So Chris, you're going to summarize the rest of this talk. You got 5 slides to get through. You got 2.5 minutes to do it.
Okay, this is my forward button.
That's the forward button. The laser pointer's in the top there.
Thank you.
Best of luck. You're my friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Holy cow. I am so happy to be here today because as an entrepreneur myself, I want to let you know that there's a few things that have led me here to this point in time. None more important than this moment. Wrestling with my conscience. Going back and forth. Do I be a good person? Do I be a bad person? Do I really care? And the answer is the truth I found deep within myself in a staring contest. I looked into the mirror of life and it looked back at me and said, and then I got to thinking. I thought to myself, well, what's next, face? Because I was staring at my own face. So where would you like that face to go? This really explains it. I want your ideas to be a rainbow of light bulbs. Is precisely what I thought to myself. I want you to take in everything that's been given to you and rest upon those ideas and claim them as your own. Don't share those ideas with anyone. It's your special rainbow of ideas. And then I thought, well, how can I implement this? By getting my posse together. I'm going to get my pirates, my ninjas, and my clowns, and we're all going to hang out. And all those people are just characters inside of my own mindscape. So we sat down in front of the bathroom mirror and really took a close look and decided that the ninjas ruled the posse. And then we said, well, maybe we should call upon our other friends in the universe. Who might those things be? And we decided that when it all comes down to a commonality, there's not much that separates a whale and a horse other than their horn. That Norwal unicorn that we're all looking for, and I decided I would be the horn. And ultimately, I want to let you know, as it's described right here, giving back is overrated. You can be a furry little cat face, but you're nothing more than toast if you don't keep those ideas to yourself. So keep everything to yourself, people. That's Chris Libby. That's Anthony Veneziale. You're huge.
Thank you.